Welcome to Often Pacing on Tab Radio Racing and Sport. Tim Walker will be joined by Matt Young and Oliver Cownie as they delve into the form for today's Pinjarra harness meeting, as well as an early look at tomorrow's meeting at Gloucester Park. We are Often Pacing.
And it's a busy half hour on the way this morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome along to Often Pacing. Tim Walker with you. Great to have your company wherever you might be tuned in this Monday morning. Looking forward to catching up with Abbey Vidovich today as she got to win number 30 over the course of the weekend and has a couple of nice chances over the next few days. So looking forward to catching up with her a little later on in the program today. That's right after we've reviewed Gloucester Park from the weekend. And we're going to do that with Matt Young and Ollie Cownie in just a few moments' time. As I mentioned yesterday morning, great news that we're going to see Joseph Savalco out there today at Pinjarra. Obviously had the incident on Saturday night, but good to see that he is A-OK and right to go for this afternoon's meeting at Pinjarra after, as I mentioned, that incident on Saturday night at Narrogin. Just some news off the top there to start things off. But let's not keep our first guests of the morning waiting. And we've got Matt Young once again with us. Hello to you, Matt.
Hello again, Tim. Hello, Ollie. Everyone tuned in.
Great to have you on board. Great to have Ollie Cownie on board as well. Hello to you, Ollie.
Morning, Tim. Morning, Matt. Great to be on.
Gents, plenty to work through this morning. We're not going to waste too much time this morning because we need to get some horses to follow from Friday night. And Ollie, you were in here on Friday morning for the Gloucester Park preview. How did the meeting treat you as a whole, first and foremost?
Yeah, well, had a bit of luck in the end on Friday night. I mean, nothing that was huge, but was pretty keen on Candy Apple each way, and he loomed up at the top of the straight, and I thought he might run past the leader, but in the end, Skipper Beat was just a little bit too good there, but something out of the place for Candy Apple, and in the end, I think we were talking about how even a meeting it was and how there were some really tricky races, but the punters got it right there on Friday. I think 7 of the favourites won out of the 10 races, so it was interesting.
Yeah, Matt, what was your take on the meeting? Because I reckon had you been in the studio and I would have passed a few races off to you first and you would have just said thanks for the hospital hand pass there, Tim?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that just seems to be the theme at the moment. Is every Friday night they're just tricky races, hard to work out, and a lot of wide open races, which, I mean, is good if you like something. And as Ollie mentioned, the favourites, a few of the favourites were able to get the win, so the punters were on the right side of the ledger by the looks of things. A couple were heavily backed, and yeah, so look, the meeting was just tricky to watch, tricky to try and decipher, but I think we've got a couple out of it that we can be able to put into the black book.
All right, tell us who, Matt. We'll let you start.
We can go with race 1. I like to beat the Banks run. I think this horse is just sort of profiles like one of Phil Duggan's runners, really. A lot of Phil Duggan's horses in the past have sort of taken 3, 4, 5, 6 runs to get back to their better form, but once they hit their form and get that fitness back and that residual fitness that's needed, we normally see them sort of get their better form, and I think Beat the Banks probably fast-tracking that a little bit more than some of the others. I think that's because of the quality of animal that he is. So, look, he's got some good draws because he's going to have that dollars last 5. He's sort of on the lower side, and I think that's going to help him a great deal going into a few more races because he went to the line looking for a run late and hit the line really well. I think he's just heading in the right direction. He looks one to follow going forward, if not next start. In a few starts' time, he's just one that you have to keep an eye on and keep to be vigilant on in sort of better races. I think he can run into the money wherever he's heading next. Starlight Dream, I was really taken by her performance. I thought she was outstanding. She came from last wide. Donald Harper just ripped it to the outside and she sustained a long run. She loomed up to them. And I think if she had a run or two under her belt, she would have won. But she just peaked on the run, which is completely expected first up. But I thought in terms of first up run, it was outstanding. So I thought Starlight Dream is a real big watch out of Friday night. And she's a tiny dancer. I keep saying, I think if you were to have a race, a 2-horse race between this horse and Wade, somehow they both find a way to be held up because the 2 most unlucky horses in the state. She's a Tiny Dancer went to the line bolting again. I think she's ready to win a race, so just keep following her. The luck will come. I think I've given up on Sway for the time being. He's just a hard horse to follow. I think She's a Tiny Dancer goes into the Black Book and will be winning a race very soon.
All right, so Beat the Bank, Starlight Dream, She's a Tiny Dancer. Ollie, what about you?
I think I'm in the same boat as Matt there. I'm having to give up on Zwade. He's been pretty costly for me in his last few starts as well, but I'm sure now we've jumped off, he'll probably win his next start. On Friday, I was really keen to keep following out of race 3, Pete's Honour. I thought he was terrific again. His last couple of runs, they've been super, and again there on Friday, the leader really just was able to control things nicely through the middle and got a 62 first half in a metro race on a Friday. And when you get that easier first half, you're going to be pretty hard to catch. And Pete's Honour was coming off the track, making a wide run, and was still good enough to get into third in what was a really good effort. And he held off Dark Eyes, who had the perfect track up on his back. So I think he's going super at the moment. The next horse I had for us to follow was out of race 6. He was really unlucky, this horse, Feeling Aces. He went 3 back to pegs, which over the mile, you're probably going to be a bit unlucky a few times. But he looked to be bolting late, and he just had nowhere to go running up on the back of them there. Joey James, he was a really good winner, and good to see him win again after so long out of the winners' circle. But, Feeling Aces, I think he can really be hard to beat in a race like this very soon. And the last horse I had for us to follow went around on Tuesday as well in Blue Blazer. Had a little bit more luck there in probably what was an easier race on the Tuesday, but on Friday got shuffled back a bit, was 1 out 2 back, which was tricky in a race that the leader won. Leaders back ran second, and 3 back to pegs ran third. So it was really, really hard for those horses that were off the pegs there, and Blue Blazer was one of those, and they ran home a pretty slick last half for the grade. So I certainly think he can win a race very soon.
All right, so 3 horses to follow there for Ollie. Pete's Honour, Feeling Aces and Blue Blazer. All right, let's get stuck into Pinjarra today and see what the boys have got. Matt, we'll let you start off. How did you assess this afternoon's program?
Yeah, 3 to work through for the card today. I thought Wake Up Jeff is a horse that I earmarked last time in as being a reasonable type, and so I normally like when they've had their trial prep into a race prep, going for a break and coming back. I always like that because they normally come back and show even more the next time in. They understand what they're doing more. So, look, I'm happy to be with him in race number 2, Wake Up Jeff. He's around the even money. I think there's no great price about him, but I thought he could get the job done, so I was keen on him. Race 5 on the program, I liked I Will Never Know on an each-way basis. I think I Will Never Know is getting very close to being able to win one, and we know that he's tough and he can just keep staying all day. So I think he'll run a good race in this event, and I'll put him in for one to follow for the day, and I just thought the price was right for him, so I was happy to be with him. And in race number 7 on the card, I was happy to be with Australia each way, and another lightning lap who's got options from the draw. I think will be no worse than leaders back, and from there it's going to be dangerous late. And the price really dictates this bet. I think it's sort of a 1x3, 2x4, 2x5. Go crazy, just load up more of the place. I think this horse will run into the placings, and Australia has a potential chance of being able to get back into the winners list today after some decent runs in these lightning lap events. So I'm expecting him to run well. So race 7, number 1, each way. Race 5, number 3, each way. And I thought race 2, number 5, straight out Wake Up Jeff. So those are the 3 to follow for me for the day.
Okay, all right. Just on Australia, $1.60 the place, Matt. Do you just have that perhaps in a few multis as well? Would that $1.60 the place, that is?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's probably the way to go. And you've got horses on the card like Number Crunch, has been crunched, and also Last Hard Copy. You could probably throw them into the multis as well, and be able to find another couple of horses that could run into the placings, and you could get yourself a nice little place multi for the day. So, but I think Australia is a good starting point for some of those.
All right, Ollie, what's your take on the Pinjarra program today?
Yeah, I was keen to keep things off in race 4, and initially I'd planned on tipping Number Cruncher, who looks like a really smart horse and trialled super. And I think he's the winner of this race, but he really has been crunched, as Matt mentioned, and he's about $1.30 now. So there's probably no huge value there. And I'm happy to change tactics in this race and go with one that's a huge price at the moment, I think, on a place line. Camel Plus. I thought this horse actually trialled really well behind Number Cruncher. It was able to run third in that trial, and I thought the effort was really good, was held up, really driven quite patiently. And once Donald Harper presented him into the clear, he actually hit the line really nicely there late. So I thought it was a good effort. And he was also probably his best runs last time in were towards the start of his campaign. So he might be a horse potentially that's a little bit better on the fresh side. So I think he can get a really good run here, potentially 3 back on the pegs following Elvira Jane and Number Cruncher. And if he gets into the clear late, I think he can be running on. And the $10 or $11 a place looks really, really good value there, I thought. The next one I was keen to be with, totally agree with Matt's thoughts in race 7. I think Australia's going really well at the moment and hasn't had a lot of luck. Seems to love these lightning lap races, was really good 2 runs ago. Didn't have the best of luck there, ended up without cover and still battled on pretty well into 4th behind this time Jacko, who's in awesome form at the moment and has been really good and would be very hard to beat if he was in this race. So I think Australia could nearly hold the lead from the inside. He was actually able to beat Lucienne last start, although Lucienne was very unlucky that race. But Australia was able to beat her last start, and I think can potentially in front if he's able to keep out Lucienne in the early stages. He can be really hard to beat in this race. So keen to be with him each way if the price permits there, but also just happy to go straight out. And then race 8, I thought Dat Lovely was really good last start, running on late, beaten by a reasonably smart horse there. And the second horse in that race was Sid Strepo, who went around on Friday night and was reasonable there as well. The winner of that race was Jimmy Rocks there last week, and I think he would be really hard to beat in this race. But obviously we've got Malachi in this one, who's in terrific form as well, and is certainly going to be hard to beat. But I think Dat Lovely can be a really good 1x4 type bet in this race. Seems to be going really well, and a win isn't far away for that horse.
All right. Dat Lovely in race 8, Australia there in race number 7, and Camel Plus there in race number 4, just changing the tack. And they must have been listening to the punters, Ollie, because into $5.50 the place now with Tab Touch. So that is a look at Pinjarra today. Now we turn our attention to tomorrow at Gloucester Park. We'll start with you this time, Ollie. What's your take on the early take anyway on Gloucester Park tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm going to race 4 to kick things off again on Tuesday at Gloucester Park, and this is a race where we get to see the really smart, fabulous Dream come back. I think she's going to go around pretty short odds because she has been very impressive in those first couple of races. So I'm happy to go a different way, and I've been really impressed by the way Basing Hall has gone this time in. Each run has been better than the previous one, and just going really well. And each time, stepping up against better horses. Last time took on Hold the Ammo, who was a winner again recently, Major Disco, and he ran third in that race after sitting without cover and battled on really strongly, and they ran a pretty slick last half there. I think the winner looks clear-cut in Fabulous Dream, but the placings certainly look quite open, and a few of the dangers to him running a place are drawn quite wide in the better side and Art Ideal. So I think if he's able to secure a decent run, we can be on him like a 1x9 type bet. I'm not sure he can knock off the favourite, but he can certainly be very hard to beat at a price for the placings there. And then in race 7, I'm keen to be with the horse in this race that I thought was just terrific last start, Synchronizer. Probably not a horse that's ever been known for a toughness in races, but they went really quickly last start. There was a bit on there. They went 27.8 for the first quarter and then 29.6, which is just flying for the lower grade horses. So I think if she's able to lead and control things and get things a bit easier, which I think she will this time, I think she's going to be incredibly hard to beat there.
All right, well, stay tuned after we speak to yourself and Matt this morning, Abbey Vidovich is going to join us, so we'll get the very latest there on Synchroniser. So that is for Ollie tomorrow night, Basing Hall and also Synchroniser. All right, Matt, talk us through your early look for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I sort of agree wholeheartedly there with Ollie about race 7 in Synchroniser. I think Synchroniser's looks very hard to beat, so I gave it a major chance in the race. I really liked Sagander in race 4 for a place. I thought Sagander was a really strong chance to be able to lead early, probably take the cover on Fabulous Dream, and I thought from there would run second. So I like the way that Sagander hit the line last start. I've always liked this horse, and I think we're going to see a decent performance from Sagander tomorrow. So I think place only, but Sagander is the way to go. Race 4, number 2 for me. So hopefully Ollie and I have just plucked the trifecta straight.
Yep.
We make for a happy day. And race 6, Dawson. Like the way that Dawson has just really started to hit at straps and looks really hard to beat for mine in the standing start. Henry Glasson looks to be the main danger, but he's first up and he may need a couple of runs to really tie him down. But I think Dawson has got that race fitness, and I think just a few little, I wouldn't say niggles, but I think they've just been trying to work the horse out a little bit, and everything's starting to come together. So I think he's the one to beat there, and he should be able to get the job done, but hopefully he's not too short. But race 6, Dawson to win, and race 4, Sagander to place.
Excellent. All right, that is for Matt tomorrow night at Gloucester Park. All right, gents, that brings us to the end of our early look for today and also tomorrow. Matt, you'll be there at Pinjarra. You're just getting ready to go, and early start today, pre-midday start. So all of the interviews, Racing WA Harness X page.
Absolutely right. We'll see you there.
Beautifully done. And Ollie, many winners to you too over the next few days. And thanks for being along on the Retrovision Gloucester Park preview on Friday morning as well.
Thank you, Tim. Really enjoyed it.
There is Ollie Cownie and Matt Young, their early look at today and also tomorrow. When we come back, we'll have a chat to Abbey Vidovich, who, of course, was able to notch win number 29 and 30 on Friday night. She's going to join us on the other side of the break.
You are listening to Off and Pacing on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
And it's great to have your company this Monday morning, working our way through another busy program. Matt and Ollie have just joined us. We'll recap their tips for Pinjarra in just a moment. But before we get there, our special guest for the program this morning, having notched a double there on Friday night and bringing up 30 wins in her career so far, Abbey Vidovich with us on the program. Abbey, a very good morning to you, and thanks for your time on Off and Pacing today.
Good morning, thanks. Excited to be on.
Great to have you on the program. First and foremost, getting that winning double there on Friday night at Northam and taking the mark to 30 wins. You must have been wrapped with that.
Yeah, no, very happy with it. I quite like the Northam track. It's done pretty good for me. Got a few doubles there. But, yeah, no, it's good getting the wins.
And those 2 wins there on Friday night in Frankenstein's Bride and also She's a Mare in particular. Happy with the way that both of them went on Friday?
Yeah, definitely. I was very happy with Frankenstein's Bride. She went super just to pinch it on the line, which is good. And then, yeah, She's a Mare ended up getting, pushed 3 wide. So I was a bit worried there. But as soon as you ask her to go, she's more than happy to go. So, yeah, so went super.
So for you so far, striking at around that 10% mark, so 30 wins and just over 300 drives. You go back to the first winner, which was at the back end of last year. So how have you enjoyed the past 6 to 8 months and now matching it against some of the best drivers in the state?
Yeah, no, it's a big learning curve. It's all happened so quickly, it's just crazy. I still can't believe, I've got 30 wins. I can't believe I've even got, a couple winners. But, yeah, no, my first win on Ecuador was definitely a big thing for me, and then to keep him going, which is good. And then, coming up against the more knowledgeable drivers, I feel like that helps me out there too, just learning and that.
You just said that you perhaps 30 wins, it's come up a little quicker than you expected. If you were given this situation 6 to 8 months ago when you did start driving and get that first winner, of course, Franco Ecuador, we'll touch on in just a moment. If you had have been told at that stage you're going to have 30 wins by the middle part of June 2025, would you have told a person that told you that they're dreaming?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's no chance that I would have thought I'd been where I am now. Even at the start, I've just got my trial horse that I owned that I just wanted to play around with out there, get my confidence up, and then eventually jump on other people's horses. But pretty much as soon as I started, I've been put on everyone's horse, which has helped, and I appreciate a lot. And then it's just taken off from there. It's crazy.
Absolutely. No, it's been great to watch your progression in that time. So just off the back of that now and getting the wins under the belt, do you feel at home out there and you feel like you can match some of the state's better drivers?
Oh, I don't believe so. Not yet. I'm still learning about all of it. I still get quite nervous out there, although I've had a fair few drives and a fair few winners. It's still quite new for me because I haven't been in the industry for a long time. Like, I haven't really grown up with it, so it's still all new. But I'm getting more and more comfortable out there every start, which is good.
Yeah, and just tell us, obviously it's been about 6 or 7 years that you've had in and around horses, going back to how it all started. Yeah, just because I've been family friends with Dean Miller since I was young, and while I was in school he just needed a hand just around doing the waters, stable hand duties, so I thought I'd just help around after school and that, and then ended up helping a bit more as I graduated. And then Kim Prentice needed a hand out at his stable, so I thought I'd give it a shot out there, more of a racing kind than the babies and breaking in. And then since then, it's kind of just taken off, and it's pretty much been my life ever since. Always good to get that first winner. You just touched on it a couple of moments ago with Franco Ecuador, and to do it for Kim as well. That must have been a really, really exciting moment for you going back to that Monday at Pinjarra late last year. Yeah,
it definitely was, and especially being Franco Ecuador, that's Kim's little baby, so I felt very special that he allowed me to drive him and he was a quite short favourite, so I definitely had the pressure of that too. But I was very happy, and it meant a lot more that I could get it for Kim too for my first win. Just chatting to a few people yesterday prior to chatting to you on air this morning, Abbey, there's a real degree of optimism around what you might be able to do, and I won't name names, but there's even someone that I spoke to yesterday that said perhaps there is the opportunity for you to be the next Denny Roberts or be the next Emily Savalco. Are they the type of drivers that you look up to and say, well, they're able to win feature races, why can't I be doing that in time? Yeah, definitely, especially having a lot of females being the top drivers now too. It helps out a lot, looking up who I look up to in that. But there's definitely a long way for me to go to reach that point, but hopefully I can match them. That'd be very good. And the expectation that Friday night drives might not be too far away? Yeah, all the paperwork should be processed today, and I should be able to be up there this Friday coming, which is another scary thing. Haven't had my licence for 12 months yet, and I'm already driving on a Friday night. Big thing, but we'll see how we go. Scary but exciting? Yeah, definitely, yeah. Fantastic. It'll be great to see you up here on Friday nights. Now, can we touch on today? So you've got a couple that are probably at the each way quote. Just a word on Village DJ today in race number 6, drawn barrier number 1. Would you be hoping that maybe top 4 might be a pass mark here? Yeah, it'd be good if she could salute. That'd always be great. But it's also my first time driving her, so I'm not sure how she drives and all of that stuff. But just depends how far back we end up on the fence, and if we can find a good run home, she should run on good. And Lurzy as well, so how far back on the fence do you envisage that you end up here with a boy that's racing really well at the moment? Yeah, no, he's going super. I've driven him a couple of times and he's going really well. I hope we're not too far back on the fence, but it looks like it might be a likely chance, but we'll have to see where we end up. Still each way claims though? I hope so. Yep. Not saying anything too much, but we'll see what we can do. Oh, a horse that is racing well, though. We might get to tomorrow night if we can, and you look to have a golden opportunity here with Synchroniser. We just spoke to Matt Young and Ollie Cownie prior to speaking to you this morning, Abbey, and Ollie was of the opinion that it looked a really nice opportunity for Synchroniser to be able to get back on the winners list after last week, and we know that it was a good performance last week to still finish second. Can you capitalise on this good draw tomorrow night? Yeah, she went super last week, especially running at 27 and then still kicking home. She was super. But, hopefully she's got the perfect draw again, and she should be able to do even better than last week. But I also don't like saying too much because I always seem to jinx myself. So we'll see what we can do.
Hopefully can hold the form that we have seen over the past couple of starts there. Just the rest of the night's sporting grace, did you feel like it was, on paper it looks an open race, that last race tomorrow night? Do you give yourself some sort of each way claim there in the last race as well?
Yeah, again, it's her first time driving her, so I'm not 100% sure, but she should be, her form's been pretty solid lately, so she should be running on good.
All right. Would hopefully, though, the best of them perhaps synchronise there tomorrow night?
Yeah, fingers crossed. She'd be my better hope.
Excellent.
We'll see what we can do.
Excellent. Hopefully you can get a win there on the board tomorrow night after narrowly going down last week. All the very best, Abbey. Great to be able to spend a bit of time on air with you this morning, and let's hope that we can see you winning tomorrow night and also here back at Gloucester Park on Friday night as well. Go well.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
All the very best. There is Abbey Vidovich with us on the program. Great to have her on the program this morning and get a little bit of an idea as to how she's tracking along. 30 wins she brought up on Friday night there at Northam. All right, just those tips today for Pinjarra. If you did miss it, the best of the best for Matt and Ollie. Matt with Wake Up Jeff in race number 2, then going to I Will Never Know a little later on in the day. That comes up in race number 5 on an each-way basis, and then ending the day again on an each-way basis with Australia. So that is in races 2, 5 and 7. Ollie with Camel Plus on the place basis in race number 4 on the program, and then going with Australia as well, and that lovely at the back end of the day, race number 8 on the program. So they were the best of the best for the boys today. That's us done. If you missed the podcast, it'll be up very shortly, tabradio.com.au, and we'll be back again next Monday morning for another edition of Off and Pacing. We've got thoroughbred meetings today there where we'll have the previews for Albury. We'll also have Tamworth previews, Pakenham preview not too far away as well, and that will be coming up on the other side of the break, and Leah Ernest will take you through the early phase of race day today on Tab Radio. Thanks for listening in. Look forward to doing it all again next Monday morning.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.